Oh, no, you're kidding.
I am not. Welcome to the Deep Dive Learner. Today we are excavating a rather, well, unexpected source.
Yeah, we are looking at a 10th grade English textbook chapter. And before you assume we're doing grammar drills or vocabulary quizzes, let's just reset those expectations right now.
Definitely. Because beneath the surface of these seemingly simple reading comprehension exercises is this brilliant, totally unvarnished mirror held up to adult human psychology.
It really is. We're looking at a collection of stories. You know, a Mexican farmer's plea, a 13th century fable from the poet Rumi, this bizarre animal race, and a poem about nature.
And collectively, they just completely dismantle the illusion of the human ego. Our mission for this deep dive is to extract those hidden mechanisms.
We want to look at the why and the how behind our biggest blind spots. Like, why do we instantly trust the invisible, but we inherently distrust the real people standing right in front of us?
Exactly. And how does our own vanity actively invite deception? We're basically going to unpack the architecture of arrogance today.
I love that phrasing.
Thanks. So let's dive straight into that first scenario I mentioned. It comes from a story in the text called A Letter to God, and it's centered on a simple farmer named Lencho.
Right, so Lencho lives in this solitary house in a valley, and his family's survival depends entirely on his cornfield. I mean, he desperately needs rain.
Yeah, the text describes him just staring at the sky all day, anticipating a downpour.
And when the rain finally starts, there's this brief moment of absolute elation. He actually compares the raindrops to new coins falling from the sky.
Which is such a beautiful image. But nature, well, nature doesn't really care about his harvest.
Yeah.
The rain turns into a brutal, heavy hailstorm.
It's devastating. It doesn't just damage the crop, it literally obliterates it. The field is left completely white as if it's covered in salt.
Yeah, he's standing in the middle of his ruined livelihood, basically staring down starvation. But Lencho possesses this unshakable, literal interpretation of fate.
He really does.
So he goes to the post office, asks for ink and paper, and writes a literal letter asking for exactly 100 pesos to resow his field.
Which is just wild to think about.
Right. He puts it in an envelope, addresses it to God, and just drops in the mail slot.
And the postal workers find it, and initially it's just a joke to them. I mean, a letter to God. But the postmaster stops laughing pretty quickly.
He does. He is struck by the sheer, unadulterated weight of this man's faith.
Yeah, he decides he cannot let this farmer's worldview be shattered. So the postmaster essentially crowdsources a miracle.
Which is an incredible logistical feat.
Totally. He gives up part of his own salary, and he asks his employees to contribute whatever they can as an act of charity.
But, you know, they are only postal workers. They aren't wealthy by any means. They managed to scrape together 70 pesos.
Which is still a lot of money for them.
That's fairly.
Yeah.
So they put the cash in an envelope, sign it simply God, and wait for Lencho to return. And this brings us to that opening scenario.
The reaction.
Yes. Lencho opens the envelope, and he doesn't fall to his knees in gratitude. He counts the money, sees it's 30 pesos short, and becomes utterly enraged.
He immediately marches back to the counter, grabs another piece of paper, and writes a follow-up letter to God.
Wait, you have to share his exact words here because they are incredible.
Okay, the text reveals he writes, "Oh, thanks for sending the money, but I have received only 70 pesos. Next time you please send the money directly to me. The people at the post office are a bunch of crooks. They have taken the 30 pesos.
Okay, let's unpack the cognitive dissonance happening in this man's head right now. It's like using a crowdfunding site to pay a massive medical bill, thanking the universe when the money magically arrives, but then aggressively accusing the IT guy who set up the server of skimming your donations.
That is a perfect analogy.
I just have to look at this and ask, is Lencho actually a good person? Or is his worldview just incredibly toxic?
Well, the text actually prompts the reader to draw a character sketch of Lencho, and it forces you to sit with that exact tension.
Yeah.
Lencho is operating under something psychologists call the just world fallacy, but like on steroids. He has a very rigid mental model. God is perfect, God is an infinite resource, and God owes him exactly 100 pesos.
Because he asked nicely in a letter.
Precisely. So when reality delivers a messy, imperfect 70 pesos, Lencho's brain has to make a choice.
Right.
He can either accept that his mental model of a perfect vending machine universe is flawed, which is psychologically terrifying, or he can invent a villain to explain the discrepancy.
It is infinitely easier for his ego to brand the postal workers as thieves than to confront the idea that the universe is unpredictable.
Exactly. He bites the hand that feeds him to protect his own paradigm.
It's a profound paradox. Like, we can hold this infinite, unquestioning faith in an abstract concept, but harbor instant cynical paranoia toward flawed, real-life human beings who are actively trying to help us.
Yeah, the people actually doing the hard work get labeled as crooks because recognizing their charity would mean acknowledging his own vulnerability.
Lencho shows us the danger of blind, naive faith. But there's a much more dangerous kind of blindness, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. The kind born out of sheer arrogance. What happens when we actually think we're the smartest person in the room?
Yeah.
The curriculum beautifully pivots from Lencho's naivety to a completely different psychological trap. We move to a 13th century tale by the poet Rumi titled The Trader and the Tailor.
So we leave the lonely valley and drop into a chaotic, bustling bazaar. And the stakes here are completely ego-driven. There is a tailor in this bazaar who is infamous. Everyone knows he is light-fingered, like he actively steals from his customers.
Which is not great for business, you'd think.
You'd think. Enter our trader, a man so competitive and boastful that he treats this known thief as a personal challenge. People actually warn the trader. They tell him this tailor is cunning.
But the trader doesn't listen.
No, he wagers an actual Arab horse, which is a massive fortune-making bet that the tailor won't be able to steal a single thread from him.
An Arab horse is an astronomical wager. The trader is betting his financial future purely to satisfy his vanity.
Yeah, he even lies awake all night stressing about it.
But the next morning, he arms himself with a beautiful, expensive piece of satin and marches into the tailor's shop, hyper-vigilant, just determined to watch every single move the tailor makes.
This is where the psychology of deception gets so fascinating. If you know someone is watching your hands, how do you rob them?
You don't use stealth.
Exactly, you use flattery and humor. The trader walks in, and the tailor immediately leaps up, showering him with affection, asking about his health, treating him like the most important person in the world.
The trader's ego is instantly stroked. He flings down the silk and demands a coat that will show off his figure.
And the tailor goes to work, measuring and cutting. But the weapon he uses isn't his scissors, it's his mouth.
Right, he starts telling incredible, hilarious jokes. He gossips about misers. He weaves these beguiling stories.
The physiological response to humor is what the tailor is counting on here.
Completely. When we laugh, our brain releases dopamine, and our threat detection centers essentially just power down.
Yeah.
You physically cannot maintain high alert while you are experiencing intense amusement.
The text describes it so viscerally. The trader gets hysterics. He laughs so hard that he, quote, closed his eyes in joy.
He literally blinds himself.
Yeah. And the moment those eyes shut, the tailor's scissors speed up. He snips extra pieces of the priceless satin and hides them under his thighs. The trader's getting completely robbed, but he's just drunk on the jokes.
And it escalates to pure absurdity. The tailor tells a story so funny the trader actually falls backward.
Oh, man.
And the tailor actually stitches a swash of the stolen silk to the hem of his own underpants.
Wait, his underpants? That is wild.
I know. The trader is paying zero attention to the wager he stayed up all night worrying about. Instead, he begs the tailor for more stories.
He is actively demanding to be distracted while he is being ruined.
Yeah, he's practically handing over his wealth for a laugh.
You know, I was reading this, and a massive light bulb went off for me. Is the tailor just a 13th century thief? Or is he basically the original architect